Today, we are reading the AtraHasis. My name is Jeffrey Maher. This channel is Genesis&Longevity. Please like and subscribe. Share this with all your friends, man, because we just read some groundbreaking work yesterday, the first rendition of the Genesis story in Sumeria. This is a different version passed into a different culture. So the culture right next door to Sumeria is Babylon. And this generative story is from Babylon about 1700 BCE. And it's the same story as yesterday, but it is crazy how much they changed in 600 years. I mean, it's been 600 years, right? But just this whole story has been added to so much. My mind is actually blown. It's crazy. It's the same story. You can tell because it's the same gods, it's the same order of events mostly. But in this story, they are throwing in like lots of fear mongering. So it's really interesting, right? Fear mongering is beginning to be thrown into the creation story. Here we go. And just things that didn't happen in the first story are getting thrown in. Like and subscribe. Love you guys. Peace and love. Okay. AtraHasis. Tablet 1. When the gods, instead of man, did the work, bore the loads, the gods' load was too great, the work too hard, the trouble too much. The great Anunnaki made the Agigi carry the workload sevenfold. Anu, their father, was king, their counselor, warrior, Eliel, their chamberlain, Nintu, their canal controller, and Yugi. They took the box of lots, cast the lots. The gods made the division. Anu went up into the sky, and Enlil took to the earth for his people. The bolt which bars the sea was assigned to far-sighted Enki. When Anu had gone up to the sky, and the gods of the Absu had gone below, the Anunnaki of the sky made the Agigi bear the workload. The gods had to dig out canals, had to clear channels, the lifelines of the land. The Agigi had to dig out canals, had to clear channels, the lifelines of the lands. The gods dug out the Tigris, and then dug out the Euphrates. In the deep, they set up the Absu of the land inside it, raised its top of all the mountains. They were counting the years of loads, the great marsh. They were counting the years of loads. For 3,600 years they bore the excess. Hard work, night and day. They groaned and blamed each other, grumbled over the masses of excavated soil. Let us confront our chamberlain and get him to relieve us of this hard work. Come, let us carry the counselor of the gods and warrior from his dwelling. Come, let us carry Eliel, the counselor of the gods, the warrior from his dwelling. Then Allah made his voice heard and spoke to the gods, his brothers. Come, let us carry the counselor of the gods, the warrior from his dwelling. Come, let us carry Eliel, the counselor of the gods, the warrior from his dwelling. Now, cry battle. Let us mix fight with battle. The gods listened to his speech, set fire to their tools, put aside the spades for fire, their loads for the fire god. They flared up. When they reached the gate of the warrior Eliel's dwelling, it was night, the middle watch. The house was surrounded. The god had not realized it was night, the middle watch. Ekur was surrounded. Eliel had not realized, yet Kal was attentive and had it closed. He held lock and watched the gate. Kal roused Nusku. They listened to the noise of the Agigi. The Nusku roused his master, made him get out of bed. My lord, your house is surrounded. A rabble is running around your door. Eliel, your house is surrounded. A rabble is running around your door. Eliel had weapons brought to his dwelling. Eliel made his voice heard and spoke to the vizier Nusku. Nusku, bar your door, take up weapons and stand in front of me. Nusku barred his door, took up weapons and stood in front of Alil. Nusku made his voice heard and spoke to the warrior Alil. Oh, my lord, your face is sallow, tamarisk. Why do you fear your own sons? Oh, Alil, your face is so sallow, tamarisk. Why do you fear your own sons? Send Anu to be brought down here to you. Have Enki fetched into your presence. He sent for Anu to be brought down to him. Enki was fetched into his presence. Anu, king of the sky, was present. Enki, king of the Absu, attended. The great Anunnaki were present. Alil got up, and the case was put. Alil made his voice heard, and spoke to the great gods. Is it against me that they have risen? Shall I do battle? What did I do? What did I see with my own eyes? A rabble was running around my door. Anu made his voice heard, and spoke to the warrior Alil. Let Nusku go out, and find out word of the Agigi, who have surrounded your door. A command. Alil made his voice heard, and spoke to the vizier Nusku. Nusku, open the door, take up your weapons. In the assembly of all the gods, bow then, stand and tell them, your father Anu, your counselor warrior Alil, your chamberlain Nintura, and your canal controller Enugi have sent me to say, who is in charge of this rabble? Who is in charge of the fighting? Who declared war? Who ran to the door of Alil? Nusku opened his door, took up his weapons, went before Alil in the assembly of all the gods. He bowed, then stood and told the message, your father Anu, your counselor warrior Alil, your chamberlain Nintura, and your canal controller Enugi have sent me to say, who is in charge of this rabble? Who is in charge of the fighting? Who declared war? Who ran to the door of Alil? Every single one of us gods declared war. We have put a stop to the digging. The load is too excessive. It is killing us. Our work is too hard. The trouble is too much. So every single one of us gods has agreed to complain to Alil. Nusku took his weapons, went, and returned to Alil. My lord, you sent to me. I went, I explained, saying, every single one of us gods declared war. We have put a stop to the digging. The load is too excessive. It is killing us. Our work is too hard. The trouble too much. Every single one of us gods has agreed to complain to Alil. Alil listened to the speech. His tears flowed. Alil spoke guardedly, addressed the warrior Anu. Noble one, take a decree with you to the sky. Show your strength. While the Anunnaki are sitting before you, call up one god and let them cast him for destruction. Anu made his voice heard and spoke to the gods his brothers. What are we complaining of? Their work was indeed too hard, their trouble too much. Every day the earth resounded. The warning signal was loud enough. We kept hearing the noise. The Anunnaki are sitting before you, and while Belitil, the womb goddess, is present, call up one and cast him for destruction. Anu made his voice heard and spoke to Nusku. Nusku, open your door, take up your weapons, bow in the assembly of the great gods, then stand and tell them, your father Anu, your counselor warrior Alil, your chamberlain Nintura, and your canal controller Enugi have sent me to say, who is in charge of the rabble? Who will be in charge of the battle? Which god started the war? A rabble was running around my door. When Nusku heard this, he took up his weapons, bowed in the assembly of the great gods, and told them, your father Anu, your counselor warrior Alil, your chamberlain Nintura, and your canal controller Enugi have sent me to say, who is in charge of the rabble? Who is in charge of this fighting? Which god started the war? A rabble was running around Alil's door. Ie made his voice heard, and spoke to the gods his brothers. Why are we blaming them? Their work was too hard, their trouble was too much. Every day the earth resounded. The warning signal was loud enough. We kept hearing the noise. Beletet Ili, the womb goddess, was present. Let her create primeval man, so that he may bear the yoke, the work of Elil. Let man bear the load of the gods. Let Ili, the womb goddess, is present. Let the womb goddess create offspring, and let man bear the load of the gods. They called up the goddess, asked, the midwife of the gods, wise Mami, you are the womb goddess, to be creator of mankind. Create primeval man, that he may bear the yoke. Let him bear the yoke, the work of Elil. Let man bear the load of gods. Nintu made her voice heard, and spoke to the great gods. It is not proper for me to make him. The work is Enki's. He makes everything perfectly. If he gives me clay, then I will do it. Enki made his voice heard, and spoke to the great gods. On the 1st, 7th, and 15th of the month, I shall make a purification by washing. Then one god should be slaughtered, and the gods can be purified by immersion. Nintu shall mix the clay with his flesh and his blood. Then a god and a man will be mixed together in clay. Let us hear the drumbeat forever after. Let a ghost come into existence from the god's flesh. Let her proclaim it as his living sign. And let the ghost exist so as not to forget the slain god. They answered, yes, in the assembly. The great Anunnaki who assigned the fates. On the 1st, 7th, and 15th of the month, he made a purification by washing. Lawala, who had intelligence, they slaughtered in the assembly. Nintu mixed clay with his flesh and blood. They heard the drumbeat forever after. A ghost came into existence from the god's flesh, and she, Nintu, proclaimed it as his living sign. The ghost existed, not as to forget the slain god. After she had mixed that clay, she called up the Anunnaki, the great gods, the Agigi, the great gods, spat spittle upon the clay. Memi made her voice heard and spoke to the great gods. I have carried out perfectly the work that you ordered me to do. You have slaughtered a god together with his intelligence. I have relieved you of your hard work. I have imposed your load on man. You have bestowed noise on mankind. I have undone the fetter and granted freedom. They listened to the speech of hers, and they were freed from anxiety. They kissed her feet. We used to call you Mami, but now your name shall be Mistress of all gods. Far-sighted Enki and wise Memi went into the room of fate. The womb goddesses were assembled. He trod the clay in her presence. She kept reciting an incantation. For Enki, staying in her presence, made her recite it. When she had finished her incantation, she pinched off 14 pieces of clay and set 7 pieces on the right, 7 pieces on the left. Before them, she put down a mud brick. She made use of a reed, opened it to cut the umbilical cord, called up the wise and knowledgeable womb goddesses, 7 and 7. 7 created males, 7 created females. Watch my next video. AtraHasis Part 2.